Welcome back. Today we're embarking on a deep dive, really getting into a story that's surprisingly geographical and deeply personal too. It's about a craft business, specifically the Low Country Distillery. We've been looking through the sources you shared, and, well, their origin story is way more than just, how they make spirits.
That's absolutely right. Our mission here really is to pull out the core insights, how a huge personal change location, lifestyle, didn't just spark a new idea. It actually defined the company's whole identity, its values, its ethos, and even the final product itself. We're tracing this journey literally from the desert neon to the coastal salt marshes.
Yeah, setting the scene means starting thousands of miles away from where they are now. The founder, Brian Fackrell, he actually grew up outside Las Vegas.
Right, Las Vegas.
So we're talking about moving from that dry, maybe high-stakes, fast world of Nevada to the green, slower, coastal vibe of the Low Country in South Carolina. It's just a massive shift, environmentally, culturally.
And what's really cool is that the sources, they immediately give us this great little nugget about Brian's personality right from the start. Growing up, the materials mentioned he was known for being pretty spirited, maybe a bit restless, definitely up to no good sometimes, which actually led his mother to affectionately call him that rotten little bastard.
That nickname, it's kind of a perfect window into that entrepreneurial spirit, isn't it? It suggests someone willing to take risks, maybe challenge how things are done, which you definitely need those traits to turn a dream into a real distillery.
Precisely. That energy, that slightly rebellious streak, it gets channeled into making something unique. But the setting, the environment, that had to change first. So in 2003, Brian, his wife Bridget, the kids, they moved. And it wasn't just, changing their address. It was a whole psychological shift, a lifestyle overhaul. They traded that intensity, maybe the pressure you associate with a place like Vegas, for something totally different.
It's really hard to picture that jump, isn't it? From endless desert sun, the dryness, that high energy Nevada feel, to the Low Country. The sources describe the new place as embodying relaxed, casual island time. We're talking about a specific spot, too, this picturesque island community, kind of nestled between Charleston and Hilton Head in South Carolina. They apparently felt it immediately, called it love at first sight.
Yeah, and that phrase, love at first sight, that's really key because it frames the distillery not just as, a business plan, but as almost an inevitable result of this new life they found. Connecting the dots, the idea for the distillery itself, which, get this, started as just a retirement plan.
Right.
It becomes totally linked to this new, slower pace, this deep sense of community they found in the Low Country. The sources kind of imply it wouldn't have worked the same way back in the desert, not with the same heart.
I wonder if that slower pace also gave them the headspace, to think about the deeper stuff, like the ethical side of production, things that maybe get pushed aside when you're just focused on speed and volume.
That's a really interesting thought. And the sources definitely suggest the community itself sort of demanded a different way of doing business, a different kind of engagement.
Okay, so let's look at how this dream actually, took physical shape. They put their distillery right out there, high visibility location. It's on Boundary Street, mentioned as one of the main roads into Beaufort. So they're literally planting their flag where everyone driving into town is going to see them.
Exactly. And that location, it speaks volumes about their transparency. The sources point out how passersby, they just get drawn in. Why? Because they can't help but notice the huge, shiny distilling equipment.
Okay.
It's right there. It's a deliberate choice, right?
Yeah.
They aren't hiding the process away. That visible equipment, it acts as this immediate hook, invites people to stop, look, learn. It reinforces the pride they have in the craft.
That visibility, though, that must be a huge commitment. It means you have to be, meticulous. Cleanliness, process, everything. Knowing people are always watching.
Yeah.
But I guess that's part of the authentic spirit, right? It ties back maybe to that rotten little bastard energy. They're not afraid to show you exactly what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, it totally flips the script on what you might expect from a, sometimes more secretive production facility.
So here's where it gets really interesting for me. Connecting that openness, that transparency to their commitment to the actual region, we're moving beyond just the spirits now into environmental responsibility. This is where their being part of the community really defines their business model, especially sourcing.
Absolutely. The sources lay out this really intense dedication to local sourcing, which, must be harder, probably more expensive than just buying in bulk. Their grains, for example, sourced locally from St. George, South Carolina. They also make a point to buy certified organic molasses and sugar. And they say explicitly this approach comes from a core value, respecting the area, respecting the environment, because they see themselves as, well, community members, not just business operators passing through.
That focus on hyper-local ingredients, I mean, in a field often dominated by big industrial production, that must add a lot of complexity. So it raises a question. What did the sources say about waste reduction? Because that's usually a massive headache for distilleries.
Yeah. That's where we get one of the biggest, aha moments in this whole story, this closed loop system they set up. See, distillation creates a lot of byproduct, significant amounts. Specifically, we're talking two main waste streams, the spent grains and the rum wash.
Okay, for those of us not in the distilling world day to day, can you break those down? What are they?
Sure. So spent grains, that's basically the leftover mash. After all the starches and sugars have been pulled out to make the alcohol, think of it like boiled cereal. Still nutritious, but the distillery can't use it anymore.
Got it.
Then the rum wash, that's the nutrient-rich water left over after they distill rum. Both of these, they can be really challenging for big distilleries to get rid of responsibly.
Right. So these are typically expensive waste products. Take a lot of energy maybe to process or haul away. What do the low country distillery sources say they do?
Okay, get this. Instead of just dumping it or paying a lot for industrial waste management, they send everything directly to a nearby place, Whippoorwill Farms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The spent grains and the rum wash, totally repurposed. The grains get used right away as high-quality animal feed, and that nutrient-packed rum wash becomes plant fertilizer for crops on the farm.
That is genuinely a closed loop, or a real cycle of sustainability. The byproduct of their craft actively feeds the local agricultural system at Whippoorwill Farms.
Yeah.
I wonder, though, did the sources hint at the logistics? Coordinating daily pickups with a local farm must be way harder than just, calling a big waste company.
Oh, undoubtedly. It takes constant effort, coordination.
Yeah.
But the sources, they frame it differently.
Yeah.
Not as a burden, right? It's presented as a core part of their business philosophy. It's just how they live up to that promise of respecting the region. You could say it's a price of admission for operating with integrity in that kind of tight-knit low-country community.
Yeah.
They're actively boosting the local ecosystem's health, environmentally and economically.
And it goes even further, right? Broadening that community commitment. The sources mention that local companies supply lots of other stuff too, like things in their retail shop.
Exactly. Glassware, merchandise, other items. They're committed to feeding that low country economy too, cementing that commitment way beyond just the liquid in the bottle.
This whole approach, it just shows how their idea of success is totally tied up with the health and success of the specific place, the specific community they chose to move to. They really seem to embody that relaxed, connected ethos they were looking for.
They really do. It's quite something.
Okay, so transitioning now. Let's talk about the consumer experience. After building this incredibly sustainable, geographically rooted operation, what's the promise when you actually go there? For a tasting and distillery tour? Sounds like it's probably more than just sipping some liquor.
Yeah, the goal is intensely personal. It connects all the dots right back to Brian's own journey. The sources say they want to meet you, they want to show their pride, and they want visitors to feel like they are part of our story. So it's not just about tasting the spirit, it's about kind of participating in the whole narrative. The story that took the founder from Vegas intensity to this relaxed island place, all driven by that that energetic spirit we talked about earlier.
So, okay, what does that mean for the person who maybe can't get down to Boundary Street right now, but they see a bottle on the shelf somewhere else?
Well, it means that when you're drinking their spirits, the idea is, you're enjoying a true crafted spirit made with care in the low country. The personal history, the local grain from St. George, the careful waste cycle with Whippoorwill Farms, all those ethical choices, those inputs, they connect directly to the quality, sure, but also the identity of what's in the bottle.
And they really encourage engagement, don't they? The sources highlight this explicit invitation. Visitors are encouraged to ask questions, see our process, enjoy our spirits, and share them with pride. It feels like they're looking for customers who appreciate the whole package, the challenging process, the story, the sustainability, as much as the taste itself.
Yeah, definitely. This whole exploration, it just really shows how the facility itself, it's inseparable from the people and the place. It's such a perfect example of how a geographical pivot can totally redefine a business's purpose.
Okay, so let's try and summarize the key insights here. This distillery, it's not just a factory, right? It's the physical result of a really profound personal change. Moving from the dry, maybe high-stakes Nevada desert to the humid, slower South Carolina coast. And that move, it married itself to a specific regional way of doing things, transparency, community, and it all manifested through these, well, probably difficult, but really rewarding sustainable practices like that closed loop with Whippoorwill Farms, the local sourcing.
Exactly. The founders, they were seeking a new life. And that new life, it kind of demanded a new, more responsible kind of business, one that truly reflected its immediate surroundings.
Absolutely. So now for our final takeaway question for you, the listener, thinking about all these specific details we just explored, the founder's personal backstory, that immediate transparency with the equipment, the probably costly closed-loop system. If a company's success gets tied so closely to its specific location and its authenticity, what role does that really rich, specific storytelling play? In turning what started as just a retirement plan into this widely shared, successful, crafted product? What specific detail really stands out most to you?
Yeah, how crucial is it really for modern craft business especially to embrace that kind of geographical authenticity? Is that how they stand out now in such a crowded market?
Lots to think about there. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the sources about the Low Country Distillery. We hope you feel well informed and maybe even a little inspired by the profound power of place.